had so many chemicals throughout my childhood, so many of these food chemicals, and I really feel like it destroyed my spiritual body. And what I mean when I say my spiritual body is I'm literally always bringing everything back to this picture, but our bodies are, we're spiritual creatures in a normal body. And this is so easy to see if you go to a funeral and there's an open casket. You see that the body is still here, but there is a spirit that has left the body. What is this spirit? What is this energy? You know, and that's why I'm constantly talking about this picture, because I believe in connecting body, mind, spirit. I think that there's so many ways to achieve health, and there's so many different things that you can do to have better biology. But you know, you could have the most aesthetically pleasing body in the whole world, but if you're not happy with where you are emotionally, spiritually, like, what do you have? You know, you can have everything. What is all the money in the world gonna do if you're not happy? That's what they say. But I'm always talking about the mitochondria because this is the last step of energy production in the cell. And you know, the body's made up of cells. So you could have any issue, right? Let's say that you struggle with cholesterol. Or let's say Sally Sue over there struggles with heartburn. Or you have constant migraines and headaches. Or you have back pain, right? You could literally have anything. You could be struggling with toxic mold overgrowth, nerve pain, right? All of that comes right back here, right back to the individual energy production of each cell. The heart, the brain, the skin, your kidneys, all of them are made of a cell just like this. So like, you look at one of the most devastating, highest diseases that we have, like cancer or heart disease, right? Well, I talk about cancer because I really fell down the rabbit hole of cancer research years ago when I was trying to figure out what was going on with insulin and glucose. Because if you start training, you know, it's so helpful to understand, like, what is diabetes, right? Because, you know, you can keep going to the gym, you can keep doing the same things that you want to do, and if you feel like it's benefiting you, exercise will always benefit you. But if you feel like you want better results, that usually comes from a deeper understanding of what you're doing in that process. And the more you understand, you can change things and you can make things more efficient, right? Like I said, I was training so much and I was training so hard. And then one day I was like, wait, there's some sort of connection between my muscle growth and fat loss and being in the sunlight. So then I stopped going to the gym so much, I stopped lifting as much weights, and I transitioned and I went over and was like, what's up with this sunlight situation? How does this help my body? How does this help my biochemistry? And so you start to incorporate little bitty things here and there, and it's like you can work smarter, not harder. But going back to like a cancer cell is mostly, it's just mutation. A lot of the times there's different hallmarkers, different tumors, they all act different. It's their own little selfish entity. So a cancer cell, there's like two major hallmarkers for most cancer diagnosis. The first is that it's lacking in mitochondrial functioning. So usually the mitochondrial energy production of the cell is compromised in some way. That is because a cancer cell is a master manipulator. And what it will do is it will produce energy just in the cytoplasm. So it'll ramp up energy here. And what this does is it makes so much lactic acid. It turns on the process of fermentation. So what this does is it makes the body incredibly acidic, which is a hallmarker. That's our other hallmarker of cancer, acidity and inflammation. So knowing all these things about cancer, and we've known this for like a long time, and I suggest that you look up a scientist called Otto Warburg, who did most of his work on mitochondrial functioning, cellular respiration, and even so far as photosynthesis. So that's why I'm always talking about sunlight, because our bodies are light. They communicate with light. If you don't know, our food is light. It's a light code. Actually, everything that you see in the environment is made of light, because even the grass, right? The grass, the tree behind me, right? Everything's made of light. If it wasn't made of light, you could not see it. For those who don't know, the sunlight has all spectrums of color in it, especially right at the peak of the day. So purple, green, and you go outside, and a lot of people, like, we don't even care about the sunlight. I made a video before, depression doesn't like sunlight. We actually shy away when our neurochemistry, when our biology is depressed, meaning that its energy levels are down, the functioning of the mitochondria is down. We shy away from the light. We teeter towards the darkness. Depression doesn't like sunlight. Best way to get you undepressed, like if you're aging too, aging is a disease and it will parallel depression. So as you age, it becomes more important to engage with your mitochondria, engage with your light body with the proper codes, right? So the codes, amino and fatty acids. So once it's ramping up and throwing off your entire acidity and pH in the body, it will also then create its own veins and arteries to fuel this madness. And then it will accrue other cells to take over and manipulate, control, power, dominance. That's what this cell is about. This is the dark side of the psyche. That's what cancer is, you know? So we want to always stay with the light side. And the mitochondria is the final step of respiration. This is just like delayed gratification in your life. So I make a deal with myself most mornings. I make a deal because I love coffee, and I make a deal with myself, say, Rachel, you can have your coffee after you have this 10-minute walk. Okay, so this is usually while I'm making my coffee. I put it on and then I go walk, or, you know, some form of like I'm paying attention and moving my body, whatever that may be for you. But I like a 10-minute walk because if you can get your heart rate up, and if you can walk pretty fast, our walking speed is related to our total muscle mass on our bodies. So it's just a great way to just like boof your biology early in the morning. Set your biochemistry up before you start engaging in things that you love. Delayed gratification, right? So you're investing for your future. That's what health is, investing for your future. That's what delayed gratification is, instead of having that short-term energy. And that's what a cancer cell will do, is it craves and it goes in for that short-term energy, and you will get less than 20% of what the cell is capable of in that scenario. So if you've ever heard of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, this is like money in the cell. This is how the cell produces energy. So when the cancer cell is doing fermentation, when we're just going through a process known as glycolysis, a simple short-term gratification process, we're getting 2 ATP. But if you can delay your gratification, if you can make friends with your mitochondria, and by the way, the mitochondria, you can produce as many of them as you wish. You are an abundant creature. All you have to do is be friends with them. If you don't become friends with them, you do become enemies. So they'll work against you or they'll work for you. It's all your choice. But if we want to produce energy in the mitochondria, we'll get like around 32 ATP. So imagine that difference. I always tell people, you're walking on the sidewalk, okay? Would you rather find $2 or $32? It's up to you. The $32 will require a small delay in your gratification, a very small, and this is only just a thought towards my cell, a thought towards my mitochondria, a positive intention. My body is strong, it's taking care of me. I'm relaxed, I have all the time in the world. My body's gonna sleep beautifully. Maybe I stayed up really, really late, but my body's gonna rest deeper in this period of time than if I had 8 to 9 hours to sleep. It is the thought and the intention. And then also just the knowledge. Like, knowledge is power. Knowledge is no power if you just have it and you don't practice it, you don't use it, right? It's amazing. Like, if you go and you stand on the ground, immediately immediately your mitochondria are producing energy like that. It is so fast, and I'll make a video soon to show how fast it is within the mitochondria that you ground yourself. The same thing with the sunlight. You don't have to go spend all day outside. You know, I love being outside. I love being in the sun when I can be in the sun. But if you only have 2 minutes to be in the sun, your body is a biochemical magician. It takes no time for that sunlight to affect the entire biochemistry of the cell. And depression doesn't like sunlight. All neurodegenerative diseases, any disease or offness in your body, any hormone dysregularities, they don't like sunlight. Why? Because they'd rather go curl up in their bed and be in the darkness and be unmoving and unmotivated. Some people have asked me in the past, it always throws me off because people don't realize how lazy I am. I always tell them I'm lazy. I do replace that word with efficient, but people are like, how are you so motivated? I'm not motivated. I know how my body reacts in the sunlight, and so I go put my body in the sunlight. I know how my body reacts when I am eating well. When I'm eating my amino and fatty acids, I know how my body is when I'm fasting. And so I go and I trick my biochemistry into being set up for me, for my future self. I'm doing this for Rachel in 4 hours from now, you know? I'm doing this for you for tomorrow. Am I motivated? I want to eat the donuts as much as you. I want to lay down and do nothing a lot of times as much as you. So yeah, you know, I think our food really hijacks our motivation. Our food chemicals destroy our spiritual body and our emotional body. It literally, I'm speaking from experience, having so many chemicals in my diet when I was younger literally brought me into such a gray perspective, especially when I was in college. I had no idea like what was true, what I liked, what type of people I wanted to be around. I had no idea because my chemistry in my brain was hijacked, my hormones were hijacked, and I didn't know who I was. And that's what these food chemicals do to us. They will trick you into thinking that you don't want to be in the sunlight. They will pull you out of nature. They will pull you out of your circadian rhythm, but only if you allow them to do so. The foods that we have now too, with all of the sugars, there's no difference in the neurochemistry of you doing heroin, you know? And it's crazy that we accept alcohol as a normalcy, and yet we don't accept things like marijuana and other psychedelics. It's crazy because the physiology and the neurochemistry, like alcohol doesn't really do anything for us. Like every once in a while, sure, I will partake. But for marijuana and psychedelics to be so helpful in cancer and in the healing pathways, in things like Parkinson's, I mean, it's incredible. Parkinson's has a lot to do with our dopamine centers, so talking about addictions and just the way that our chemistry is being hijacked. It's really fascinating. So that's what's on my mind today. You know, if you're trying to get your body, mind, and spirit in line, pay attention to yourselves. Take care of your babies. And be thankful for your mitochondria. They can produce as much energy as you like. You're not stuck where you are. You can be where you want to be. Start your habits early in the morning, and you'll be great. You don't know where you'll end up once you start doing it every single day. You just don't know. I don't know where I'll end up. I don't know where I'll be. But if you like this video, thank you for watching if you've watched until this point. If you like this video, share it with your family. Share it with the people that you love. Tell them you love them. If you want to support, my Venmo is down below in the description link. I am a lifetime student. So while I'm not in school, I am in the school of life, which seems to be relentless its ever-changing nature. But as always, I wish you luck, and until next time.